Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, the latest Sonic Racing game to grace the world, and people are really loving it. Got a 9 on IGN, which is back-to-back with Shadow Generations, haven't had that in a while, as well as positive Steam reviews, also back-to-back with Shadow Gen Stan. And I want to make something clear before properly starting. Most of my experience with this game comes from the open network test that was up for a few days at the end of August. I played some of the offline demo, but not any of the retail games, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Some of the things I'll be talking about may have changed in the retail game. Now with that, let's begin. Booting up the game reveals it's made in Unreal Engine 5, a very flawed engine to say the least. Despite that, most of my time playing the game was extremely smooth, clocking a consistent 60 FPS at 4K with this GPU. Yes, I am on a laptop, shut up. And it never dipped below that. Not to mention this game looks pretty. It goes for a similar style Sonic Generations went with, but takes advantage of UE5 with some pretty lighting, high poly models, the particle effects. It just looks pretty. Moving on to gameplay, it's a standard kart racer. You can drive, brake, drift, use items, everything you'd expect. The controls are simple: left stick to steer, A to accelerate, R to drift, and L to use items. Wish there was a way to change it to how it wasn't transform, where the right trigger was accelerate, the left trigger was drift, and A to use items, but no, well.
Please ignore what I said here. Actually, you can't change it to how it wasn't transformed, so completely disregard the previous point, I guess.
Drifting is pretty tight. It took a bit of getting used to after playing so much Transformed. Even if you're holding the stick in the opposite direction you're drifting in, it's still pretty tight. But there is an indicator for your boost when drifting, which can make it easy to judge whether or not you should boost right then, or wait a little bit to gain an additional level. For items, there are a good amount of them available, and they even have a little tag to show if it's offensive, defensive, supported, stuff like that. Though most of them lock onto you, so there's basically zero chance of dodging them unless you have the tornado or metal armor or some kind of defensive item. That's always one of the things I liked in Transformed, and one of the reasons I like that game over Mario Kart. It actually takes skill to evade some of the items. You just have to get lucky in CrossWorlds, I guess. Also, not really sure what's up with the Dark Chow item. It gives everyone else in the race different items, but I don't really see how that helps the user. Like, maybe someone was planning to use it for a shortcut, it might be useful that way. Still seems incredibly situational, though. There's also these tricks you can do off ramps, and you can get a score depending on how many you did in multiples of 360, and you do that by moving the left stick while in the air. I really wish it was the right stick so I could still steer while in the air. This isn't 06. There's also gadgets that speed up the animation, which lets you do more tricks. That one was my personal favorite. My highest score was this. Speaking of gadgets, they're basically these perks you can add to your vehicle, and they can do a lot of stuff, like more effectiveness for a specific type of item, starting out with an item, charging boost faster, getting an additional level of boost, which gives metal armor when used, which can be a bit busted in both sections because you can drift in a straight line. Alright, just like Transform, your vehicle has 3 different formations: cars, planes, and boats. Unlike Transform, however, they've been simplified in terms of controls. Cars work exactly how you'd expect them to, planes have vertical movement, and boats can charge and drift in a straight line, which doubles as a jump. Again, it isn't Transform. That game had entirely different controls depending on the vehicle. Like, boats were more sensitive and only required tilting the stick just a little bit, but not all the way. Maybe they were trying to make it more friendly for keyboard users, I don't know. Back to the customization, there's a lot you can do to personalize your vehicle, and not just in the gadgets like I mentioned earlier. No, cosmetic stuff like decals, which I never used, and titles, which I never used. There's various different types of vehicles under different types, not too dissimilar to how Riders are pretty much any game that uses types after Heroes does it. There's speed, acceleration, handling, and power, which are regular cars of fluctuating sizes. But returning from Riders is the Extreme Gear, categorized under Boost. Also returning from Riders are the Babylon Rogues, and this gives me a good excuse to talk about the roster. Playable in the open network test was Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Omega, Jet, Wave, Storm, Cream, Eggman, Zaz, and Joker, more on that last one later, with the demo adding in Big, Silver, Blaze, Rouge, Vector, Espio, Charmy, Zavok, Metal Sonic, Eggpon, and Sage. Please do not ask why all my footage is just Amy. She's my favorite character, leave me alone. When playing the single-player Grand Prix mode, you get assigned a rival and some pretty fun character banter between your player character and the rival, with some of these interactions not really being that common, and that's if these characters interacted at all. For example, Big and Zavok.
Don't like folks who are mean.
Anyways, at the end of August was the Persona event, and that shook up the gameplay quite a bit. You got assigned a team, and you could tap your teammates to gain an extra boost. Everyone's like tethered together and stuff. You can unlock Joker as a character and the Arsene Wing as a car. I never actually used Joker, oops, but the Arsene Wing looks pretty damn cool. This game's netcode is super good. Kind of running out of things to say. The music rocks. Most tracks go for an EDM approach, and it sounds freaking awesome. I don't care what anyone says. There's the beat drop in Apatos, which I'm not really a fan of. But some of the tracks go fucking hard, like Dragon Road or Galactic Parade. Kind of weird that it's called Galactic Parade, though. Like, I know that's the name it had in Transform, but come on, it's Starlight Carnival. Same goes for Market Streak, it's Rooftop Run, damn it. But they did get some pretty big names for the soundtrack, like T-Lopes Camilla and a couple others, including Jun Sonoya and Tomoya Otani. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. If you go back to the question imposed in the title, only thing left now is to answer it. Is Sonic Racing CrossWorlds good? And yeah, I'd say so. It's a fun game that I have a great time with, and most of my complaints are just nitpicking. I don't think it's as good as Transformed or anything, but I still love playing this game in the open network test. Of course, there's still one more question that needs answering. Is it worth the $70 price tag? Personally, no, not really. Like, this game is good, just not $70 good. And this is a racing spin-off, kind of expensive for that. Like, maybe it's to cover the licensing for third-party characters, but I still wish it was much cheaper. Like, the racing game we had before this was Team Sonic Racing, and that was $40. Apparently that isn't even that good of a game. And the game I said I like more than CrossWorlds, Transformed, is only $20. Then there's the Digital Deluxe Edition, which... fuck no. You get Rusty Rose, Tails 9, and Knuckles Dread from Sonic Prime. Cool. There's also a season pass that has fucking Minecraft and SpongeBob in it, what the fuck? And then pre-ordering the game gets you the Werehog, and knowing Sega, that's eventually going to become free DLC sometime soon. Don't believe me? These used to be locked behind time exclusivity, and now they're just free. Where was I? Oh yeah. As for me, I'll pick this game up on sale. I like the network test, but $70 is way too much money for a game like this. Of course, this is all my opinion. Buy the game for full price if you want. I can't stop you. I can only offer suggestions of when to buy this game, and that's exactly what I'm doing. But that's pretty much it. Like the video if you agree with me, dislike it if you think my takes are god-awful, leave a comment maybe, share it with someone you think might like this. I don't know, subscribe, I guess.